Good morning and welcome to the latest in the AlfaPeople webinar series. This morning we'll be looking at management, how you can best work with dashboards and management by exception. We'll start by looking at what you get out of the box with Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011. You firstly get a series of dashboards in the overview section. Very similar dashboards. The difference being is that one has the Yammer and social feed integration. This gives us an overview of the work that is currently happening, my activities, and etc. The second is the customer service dashboards, which we have performance dashboards, a personal dashboard for the service representative themselves, and an operational level, a high level detail of the cases and activities within my team. We also have a marketing dashboard, which we'll see a little bit later, that will show me any leads that have been created as a result of the marketing campaigns, any campaign activities, campaign effectiveness for any campaigns that I am the owner or that are owned with my team. We also have our sales dashboards that are out of the box. Sales activity at a high level, sales activity with the social dashboard, again the activity feeds and any Yammer integration, and we also have the sales performance dashboards, which also contain the goal management, a very useful tool which you'll come to see a little bit later. I want to talk now about creating dashboards, and you can see we have a number of bullet points on the screen which I'll talk through. There are two different types of dashboards, very similar to views, where you have two different types of views, system and user or personal. You can see here that the system dashboards can only be created by system administrators who have the create system chart privileges, and again once these are created, anybody who has permissions to view the information in those dashboards or the dashboards themselves will have access to see them but not edit them. There also are the user dashboards who can be created by users, again who have the user dashboard create privilege, and this will allow people to create their own privileges and of course share them. But remember that if you share dashboards, then the user or team you share with will only see the records and data that they have the security privileges to see. So again, you can share the dashboard, but the security model makes sure that only records that the people you shared with them should see, they can see. Also, you can create a new chart and display data in the user dashboard, and then you can share the chart too with users or teams. And again, a chart is a graphical representation of your organization's data. The list component allows the dashboard creator to show one or more of the system views that have been created earlier, or if it's a user dashboard, any of the personal views they created or had shared with them. Also, in order to extend the user experience, dashboards can also support the use of iframes and web resources. Iframe is an inline frame that allows you to display and interact with external objects such as static HTML, while web resources such as HTML, PNGs, JPEGs, GIFs or Silverlight can be used in these dashboards. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a demonstration of some of the functionality in Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011 itself. Now I've gone into the web client, and what you can see in the workplace we have a dashboards area which I'm sure you're familiar with. What you can see now, I'm in the Microsoft Dynamics CRM social overview, and what you can see here is I've got my Yammer integration on the right hand side. I have my activity feeds here, what I'm actually following. I have a sales pipeline here, a funnel report chart, and you can see I've got my leads by source campaign. If I change that to a very useful one, which is the sales activity dashboard, what you can see here is when I've accessed my sales dashboard, you can see that I have a chart on the left hand side which is my sales pipeline for my open opportunities. In the middle I have another chart called sales leadership, and again I have various views down the right hand side and my goal progress here in the middle. But what you also can see is that I have a longer list which spans the width of the dashboard, which is called my activities. If I go up to the sales leaderboard again, you can see I have three areas up here. So what I might want to do is I might want to take this information and make it a little bit bigger. So I click on the arrow here and you can see that I can see that in a bit more detail. Close that. What I might want to do is show me the information that makes up this sales leaderboard. So actually show me the won opportunities. So I click on this, and what that will do is will show that for all opportunities. But what I might want to do is actually say I just want to see them for Mark Harrington. So what I can do is click on that area, and it will just show me Mark Harrington's won opportunities. Click on Jill, and again I click on Jill. That will just see her won opportunities there as well. I'll just close out of that. What I also can do is I can go into my sales pipeline, and what I can do is I can see the detail by just hovering over. But if I click on that part of the funnel itself, I can actually drill into that report as well, so that chart. So what I can do is I can choose on estimated close date and then click on the arrow. And what you can see now is that has now taken the information that was presented, and I've drilled into it further, and I can see which opportunities are closing by which month. And again, I could drill into that further if I wished as well. But what I'll do is I can click on here, and that will bring me back to home. So that's a bit of a sample of some of the out-of-the-box dashboards that you will get as standard when you purchase Microsoft Dynamics CRM 2011. What I want to do is now show you how you can configure this. And as I mentioned before, you can actually create system views if you've got that permissions, but you also can create personal views. So what I'm going to do is up in the ribbon, I'm going to click on the new button. And you can see I have 6 different types of dashboard layout I can choose. And if I click from one to another, you can see on the right hand side it gives me a bit of an idea of what the look and feel is, so I can choose the best one for us. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose the 3-column multi-focus dashboard. I'm going to click on create. Opens up a new tab, and the first thing I'm prompted to do, because you can see that the field is mandatory, I'm going to choose to put in a name for my dashboard. So I'm just simply going to call it my dashboard. And what you can see is in the middle here we have 3 different areas plus 2 at the bottom, and we're going to add some in there. Now to populate these different sections, what I can do is either I can use, very similar to PowerPoint, the areas in the middle here, so insert chart here, or if I've highlighted the particular section, I can use the insert in the ribbon, but I'll just click on the section itself and choose insert chart. And now I click on insert chart. What I first want to do is I want to choose the entity that I want to choose a chart from. So again, as before, I will choose opportunity, and I want to see my open opportunities, but what you can see is you can see any of the system views or any of the personal views that you've created for opportunities and the different charts that are available. And again, you can create your own charts and they will be shown in here, but what I want to choose is sales pipeline. And that gives you a graphical representation of what that will look like when we save the dashboard itself. And I'm going to click on OK, and you can see that the dashboard now displays the sales pipeline chart. Now, one of the things that you can do is you can actually make the chart static. But what I want to do is I don't want to have to put in multiple charts. I want to give the user who I'm going to share this with the ability to change what appears within this chart area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight this area and double click on it, or click on edit component. And what I'm going to do is going to scroll quite close down to the bottom here, and I'm going to say view selector. Now at the minute we have its view selector set to off, which means it'll only show my open opportunities, which I think, you know, kind of ties people in a little bit. So what I'm going to say is I'm going to say show all views, and that allows me to say they can change the data that appears within this default chart. Again, I could choose show selected views, but I will choose show all views. What I also can do is can just say display chart selection, and what that means is, again, you saw earlier that any charts that exist for the opportunity can be displayed in this section, and I'm not going to tie them down just to the sales pipeline. So here I'll click OK. And what you can see now is I have the view selector area and the chart selector area as well, and you'll see how this appears in the chart when we're finished building the other sections. Now I've created a chart on the left hand side. What I want to do is I actually want to change what I'm going to show in the middle here, which is a list. So I've chosen the list component, and again I'm going to choose the entity, and again because I choose opportunities a lot, that's what I'm going to use. So I simply want to show a list of my open opportunities. I click on OK here, And again, you can't see what it looks like at the minute until you save and close the record, but we'll see that in a little minute. On the right hand side here again, because as you can see, a lot of the stuff I've done so far is focused around sales, so my sales pipeline, my open opportunities, and one of the biggies I want to see is I want to see, am I on target for my KPIs, for my goals for this period. So I click on the insert chart again, and I will change it from account and I'll change it to goal. And I want to see my goals for this period. I want to see, because my bonus is based on money, I want to see my goal progress at a money level, and I click on OK. Okay, and you can see it shows the goal progress money chart there, which is very, very useful. Now, we talked earlier about two more functions that we can add into the sections within the dashboard, and they were web resources and iframes. So what I want to do is I want to add an iframe in here. So I'm going to click on the insert iframe button here, and what you can see, it says I need to add a name, I need to add a URL, and I need to add a label. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly bounce into our AlfaPeople website and then grab the URL for our ITSM offering. And I go into my dashboard section again, and I'm simply going to paste the URL into here. Now I might want to display the label on the form, and you can see component 25661FA doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to update that to AlfaPeople ITSM, and what I'll do is I'll click on OK in here. Alright, and again, it'll just show the URL in the dashboard for now, but what you'll see later is when we save and close the dashboard, it will actually display the AlfaPeople ITSM website in the content in the form. The final thing that I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to add a web resource, and again, when you create a web resource in CRM, you can access it through the dashboards. And just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to choose one called Mug, which is just a PNG image. I'll double click on that. Okay, and again, I might display the label, so I'm going to say Alpha Mug, and I'll click OK. And you can see there it says new Alpha Mug. Now what I also can do is if I want to make things bigger or smaller, I can certainly do that. If I choose on decrease width there, you can see that makes that smaller. Increase width here, that makes that bigger. Okay, I'll just decrease width on that and increase the width on that to get it back to where it was. And what I could do is you can see I've got remove functions, undo and redo, sort of things you'd expect. And I click on save and close. When I click on save and close, this tab will close and I will go back into my dashboard section again. And what you can see now is we have a sales pipeline dashboard here. We have the view of my open opportunities. We've got my goal progress money area, and what you can see now is I have the AlfaPeople ITSM website, and again, if I made that bigger, the scroll bar wouldn't have come into play. And again, just for demonstration purposes, you can see the lovely AlfaPeople mug. Remember, I mentioned it before, is that I didn't want to box people in in terms of the sales pipeline. That's the only thing you could see for my open opportunities. So what I did by actually showing the ability to select a view, what I can do is say show me all opportunities, and you can see that changes the data that displayed in the pipeline itself. And again, I said they could change the chart, or I might have changed that to sales pipeline by rep, changes the look and feel there as well. So instead of having to access another dashboard, an extra chart, they can change the chart from within this section itself. And again, I can change the opportunity to show all open opportunities here. Okay, so I have a starting point, and then I can drill into it again. And again, with the dashboards as well, I also showed the goal progress. And again, I can change the look and feel of these by going to my dashboards and clicking the edit button. But one thing I advise you guys to do is I would set this as default. So when you go into dashboards, this is the one that is shown to you every time you're in here as well. And similar to sharing views and records, what I can do is I can select my area with a dashboard within here and click on share dashboard, and I can choose the appropriate team within here. So what I'll do is I'll send that to Chris Ashton, and I'll say that he has read access to that as well. So very, very useful functionality to create a sales activity dashboard for your team and share it with your team. Okay, that's in terms of the demonstration, that's what I want to show you today. But what I want to do is I want to jump back into my PowerPoint presentation and just show you a few little extra bits and pieces. Now, you can do so much with dashboards out of the box, but of course, there are many blogs out there that'll tell you how to do some little things extra. And one of the limitations with building charts and CRMs themselves is that you only can display data from the current entity that you're on, or from the primary attribute to look up entities. For example, if you're interested in seeing a breakdown of your current open opportunities, estimated revenue by account industry, it isn't possible because the native chart designer tools that CRM provides. This is because the account industry field is on the parent account, not on the opportunity, and it isn't the primary attribute. Now, by using the information in this blog that allows you to put that information on the one chart, and you'll see this is incredibly useful. There's also a scale break as well. Sometimes you will have, maybe in an opportunity chart, you will have people with incredibly high maybe opportunities in terms of the total money value, and then incredibly low as well. And to see that in one chart is quite difficult. So what you can do is you can insert a scale break in that as well. With the bar chart and data points, it allows you to create multi-series charts with your own styling. And with 3D charts, I don't really have to say too much more about that because they do exactly what they say they do. And again, the final one is the add insight into your advanced goal charts. Now, goal charts are fantastic, but this adds it to another level because what you can see in goal charts is you can see your actual versus in progress, but you can't really tell how you're doing with those in progress. You know, when I say how you're doing, I mean the percentage probability of those. So what you can actually do is add some color into the in progress goal opportunities. That again will show you what is the probability of closing those in progress opportunities. So some food for thought there. Okay, just to quickly summarize what we covered in today's webinar. We looked at the different dashboards that we get out of the box of Microsoft Dynamics 2011. We looked at some information on how we create dashboards. Then we went into a demonstration of the out-of-the-box dashboards, and we showed you how to create a dashboard, how to enter charts, lists, iframes, and web resources into that dashboard, and then to save it and to share it with another user. And finally, we looked at some blogs and how you can extend the charting functionality. I'd very much like to thank you for watching our webinar, and we hope to see you soon.